Yeah, that's more than the Protoss players could have ever hoped for. Okay, so let's go to Protoss. Let's add the line here. Shuttle eliminated. Okay. There we go. Alright, so we're going to see another Terran player. I haven't seen a Terran in a while, I feel like.
The game even up?
It's going to be Last versus Larva. I'm making it right now.
Okay, so they think... So the Terran Army thinks that Flash is their best player, which I disagree with, but interesting decision making by them, nevertheless.
Yeah, well, it was pretty standard back in the day that you just you'd put Flash last, and maybe that's just what he's most comfortable with. He doesn't like the pressure of going first. You know,
yeah, so
Flash and pressure are just two things that we've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
All right, welcome everybody for hanging out, talking in our chat, joining us. I'm BC Dagger along with the amazing XKCD.
Hello.
Yes, and let me paste in here. If you want to donate just $1, throw that dollar in there. Make our donation donator count grow up further and further. Kim Chol Min is completely dedicated to, you know, addressing the foreigner audience and saying, hey, we acknowledge that you exist and that South Korea is not the only place that StarCraft exists. So let's let him spread awesomeness to us. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like a preacher.
Hey man, you're good at advertising.
The word of the StarCraft.
I know all those months of shilling for Vant goes to it shows.
Thank you.
if your software development career ever fizzles out, you can always go into marketing.
Yeah, I honestly think that I enjoy talking so much that I could just go into a career where I just talk about stuff on TV.
Maybe we'll be casting in Korea. Who knows? Maybe
we will. Oh, my poor wife. She'll have to stay home, raise the kids, while
That's why I'm glad I'm single. That's the one advantage. No ties back home.
Hey, she keeps telling me she wants me to go to Korea, so I'm cool. I'm cool.
I don't know, man. Sounds suspicious.
It does. And speaking of suspicious, game number 4 is underway, and we've got Larva at the 1 o'clock position, and at the 11 o'clock we are going to have Last. Not the last Terran Hope, though. We do have Flash still in the arsenal. Okay, we're looking at La Mancha, for those of you guys who aren't familiar with this map.
Yeah, La Mancha got some heat when it was first announced back in 2011, I think, or 2010, because of the swastika that you can see on the map itself a little bit later on.
Yeah, I just did a full reveal of the map so you guys can see, and like, it's kind of like Sniper Ridge. I think the fact that they put a swastika on Sniper Ridge was more distasteful than La Mancha. I don't know what La Mancha means. I don't find that offensive.
Well, it looks like a windmill, which is essentially the inspiration, as the map maker took inspiration from Don Quixote.
Or Ninja Star.
Nah, Don Quixote.
Oh, it is Don Quixote?
Yeah, it's a great book. You should read it.
Hey, I read some of it. The part where he runs into the windmill because he thinks it's a dragon.
I remember reading that in my Spanish literature class. Good times.
It's a classic.
It is. Yeah, so we're going to see the standard reaction expansion here coming out from Last. Actually, no. Last one from 14cc. Ooh, Last taking some inspiration from Flash. The greedy bastard.
Well, you know, maybe Flash is playing all these games. We don't have any visual confirmation of who's playing that's as the Terran player. He could just be doubling up and maybe tripling up when it does get to his turn.
Yeah, we can always check the hotkeys and verify that's not true, so too risky, you know?
Too risky.
It's better to have Last be as good as Flash you know, that way you have 2 flashes to play against, than having.
We don't want Terran being any better than they already are. They failed to win championships, but they just plagued the entire like round of 8, round of 16. It is crazy. The talent level I feel like has been far superior in the Terran favor, you know, in majority of Terrans, but they just can't win. Zerg's managing to just, you know, etch out these victories.
Yeah, you have effort and hero, who carried a Zerg race.
Yeah, and by hero at one point. Rest in peace.
Yeah, so gonna have 2 Rax Academy coming out here from last. Meanwhile, 3 Hatchery Lair from Larva. Most definitely 3 Hatch Spire. I don't think Larva's gonna go for a cheeky lurker build. He has too much respect to go for such a thing.
Too much respect. I like
That's
that.
true.
Alright, so the lair just
I mean,
started to
he
morph
could
here.
go for the lair, the Hydra Den if he wants to, but I doubt it.
Alright, so 3 hatches are completed at this point, and lair almost halfway done. These players just looking pretty standard here in the early game. No crazy shenanigans.
Not at all.
That engineering bay on its way. With all those extra minerals that are going to be coming out of this fast CC, I mean, he's going to be able to turn up like crazy. Mutas should not get anything done. I think if Larva does get anything done with his Mutas, it's got to be godlike micro.
Okay, so this is a variation of the 2 Rack ACAT that Flash used to go for a lot in Battle ZBT. And with the early engineering bay, you're basically having the same, almost the same amount of pressure to 5 Racks build. I like this. It's like an old school build.
Yeah, and maybe like you said, there's been a lot of influence from Flash in this in this particular game. So I wonder if these players are discussing strategies going forward here.
That's definitely a possibility.
Look at this tar pit. Unfortunately, this dinosaur has died.
It died too long ago for me to care.
What kind of dinosaurs were there in the StarCraft world?
Who knows? I'm more curious about this vulture. These red vultures that you see on the map.
Alright, look at this. 2 more barracks on the way.
Yeah, so it's going to be a 4X. So we do see that similar 5X pressure, but it's going to be a 4X instead. But it's the very early... Well... Actually... No, this is fine. But...
Yes, I agree.
Right? I was thinking about whether or not last month to try to go for the sunken buff before the Mutas pop, but then I decided he's not going to do it. So I was like, nah. Nah! He's
And
good.
honestly, he really hasn't built turrets to prepare for the threat yet. He's going for another barracks. Good God, this is going to be. Oh, I think he was just landing that one, but still, I think he's got. He's going to have a lot of early pressure here once that 5 racks is done.
Yeah, this is a good time. This is a good build by last. One for the 5 racks allows him to combat the Mutas effectively, and even better for last, it's going to give him enough time to put the pressure on that 3rd base of Larva when the Lurkers pop. So it's going to give him a good opportunity, rather a good timing attack. But more importantly, a good timing window to work with, I should say.
Alright, we do have that additional hatchery down at the bottom right, and we're just seconds away. No, we are here now with the Mutas that are going to be streaming across. Not that far of a flight distance, because they are horizontal spawned at the top of this map. So, what is Larva going to be able to do here? He's got to be very careful. Stims ready, medics ready. And look at that, the turrets are finally getting constructed too.
Well, has to be careful though, those the +1 is about to kick in.
I wonder if he's just trying to get the supply depot down into the red here. So Canberra down. He's actually getting it really close to death.
So here's the problem though, like Larva's not attacking the main armory, which is moving across the map here. He needs to protect his 3rd base. He had a bunch of Zergans moving over, but there's no Hydras to protect it. I mean, the Hydras only spawn down, so it's going to be very late. They won't make it in time.
It was nice though that he did supply blast for just a moment there.
So it looks like Lord decides to just give up to third base here. He's going to go for the economic damage to counteract last year.
Yeah, I mean, Last is significantly weakened by not having these Marines and medics down here at the bottom right instead of his base to defend against the Mutas. So he's trying to just get away with what he can, and look at that, he canceled. If Last is smart, though, he will scout with that Marine, which he does, to look for the drone. And so he did know that there was going to be that third base timing and eliminates what could have built a hatchery later in this game.
Right, and the good thing, he didn't have to use a scan to confirm it. So he scans the bottom left just to make sure that Last is not being cheeky.
Yeah, that's right, and we're going to see absolutely nothing there. Meanwhile, there's this middle of the map army, and what does mine do with it? I'm sorry, what does Last do with it at this point?
Kill stuff! We're going to see him go for the exchange here, and pretty good exchange here by Law. We're going to keep the majority of his mutants alive while cleaning up that main first army of the Terran. But Last does have a backup army, his 3 medics and a bunch of Marines, though.
I love that, though. I mean, having a control group of Lings when you engage with your Mutas is absolutely important because you can really take apart the Marine army fast. Oh, look at this. He's going to try and go for Hold Lurkers. I wonder if he can bait these Marines into the correct position. XKCD, when was the last time we saw Hold Lurkers? Here it comes. Oh, and he does unleash them onto this army.
Yeah, but that did enough damage. That did a lot of damage. There's no way Last to move out, push out with this army anymore. This, not again. Another group of Marines and Mech are getting cleaned up without much of a loss. I mean, the mutant count is it's only low. It's very low to 5, but it's still something. And
yeah, absolutely. Oh, these 2 Lurkers just escaping from the Marines here. There is going to be a scan here, so they are going to stim right in and kill them off. Meanwhile, this Marine force is trying to encroach on the natural base.
It is, but there's not enough Marines in there. Sure, they got a couple mutas killed and they clean up those Lurkers, but I don't expect this group of units to be effective anymore.
That drone going down to the bottom right, it got down to 7 health before it was able to go and build a hatchery.
Whew. Close. Talk about close here. So yeah, so looking at Last economy here, he does have the starport up and the factory as well, so you're going to get the dropship out first. You get an opportunity. Meanwhile, he's going to try to poke into the natural here. Bad idea. Larva has his Defiler Mountain finished. No consumer research just yet, though.
Yep. So we do see, yes, we are sitting on Hive Tech with the science facility.
And that Marine force get cleaned up once again. I mean, Last has done a very bad job of like keeping his army alive.
Right.
Maybe so it's like Larva just picking good time to engage that army each time with these mutants and Zerglings.
So this was a decent investment into those 5 racks early on here, XKCD, though. I mean, at what point does he say, well, Bio's not working for me. Do I wait for science vessels to come out to re-attempt with Bio? Or do I start thinking additional base and transition to mech?
We're about to find out.
Oh, look at this drop inside of the main base here. Marines are going to be able to clear out the drones.
Oh, this is a good idea, though. Actually, no, don't hit the hive.
Yeah, it's more important that he goes for the spawning pool. Oh, Last realigned himself for a second there.
Yeah, so Dano Natia, I'll explain the answer to your question later on when we have time in this game.
Oh yeah, absolutely here. Now we have another Marine pressure coming down to the bottom right too, aided with a Vulture. We're going to start pushing down to this bottom right base. We see another Vulture. Vulture speed's done now too, and that's going to really help traverse this map. Oh, they just run by the Lurkers. This is beautiful.
Yeah, the Vulture has speed on it, so they can be able to run by the Lurkers immediately, which completely deflects the advantage that the first Lurkers have. And a good marker here by Last. So Last did a pretty good job, just killing as many units as he can. He should be trying to target down the drone, but sure.
Wow, this is actually really good Vulture micro here. I can't believe he's kept them alive as long as he has.
It's the only thing he can do. Yeah, so while this gets cleaned up, I'll explain the answer. So, Danny, so the reason you take a faraway third, especially in particular mess which have a third ramp, is because of the fact that when you take a faraway third, it gives you an opportunity to get a third gas, number one. Number two, you can defend that base with a minimum amount of units, mostly with 2 Lurkers. So if you look at the ramp here outside of third, you can put 2 Lurkers on top, and no amount of Marines and medics can come up without suffering significant heavy losses. Number 3, it forces the Terran army to attack either the natural or the third, and since attacking both, you can't attack both at the same time because they're so far away. So the Terran army has to commit to one side of the map or the other when you go for the attack, meaning that this gives the Zerg an ample opportunity to get enough time to protect, say, themselves and the attack. So if the Terran army moves out from his natural to the third base, because of that cross spawn, the Zerg has a lot of time to move his units into position, or if the Terran army attacks the Zerg natural, then he can move units from his third in time due to the travel distances. That's why you take a faraway third.
Well said, XKCD.
We saw Lat try to go for a sneaky fourth command center here, which gets guided off immediately by Larva. Nicely done putting the Zerg in there, and
oh, here comes the drop, and the Scourge do take out the dropship though. Real quick, we've got Vultures coming into this main base, and with just one Lurker, I think he can skate those Vultures around again. Really nice reaction time though. Larva does pull the drones away.
Yeah, so we're going to see the mech transition coming out here from last.
Oh man, this is just some really good damage again with these Vultures. Last playing really well in the harassment game. You know, also, like, if you're concerned about having that faraway third, the natural transition for Zerg in this game is to eventually get the Hive Tech so you can use your Nidus Canals effectively. Nidus Canals are so much more useful in StarCraft 1 because you can easily transport across the entire map. And so, you know, you've defended it with your Lurkers, you get into the mid-game, there's a lot of harassment here, but no, this pops out right in time so you can bring your units over and defend across the map very easily.
Which also supports my explanation of Zerg having time to defend their stuff by moving
Exactly.
units. But, so this is interesting. So we're seeing the transition into the late game mech by Laz, and the thing that really irks me that he went for the Seinfeld account, but he had done jack shit with it. I mean, you know, this is the first time we've seen the Vessels in action. He doesn't even irradiate to the Father! Okay, he does it now.
Oh, the rage irradiate coming out of XKCD. I love it. Now, does I feel like I'm forgetting this, but if he magic erasered over Lurkers, it wouldn't affect them because they're burrowed.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
So
sure.
I mean, there's the thing though. Like, despite all the early game.
Whoa! GG.
What?
Oh, I think that last just vastly outperformed him, and Larva realized it.
The game wasn't even over.
I know, that was pretty abrupt.
Like the game was equal. The game was equal.
No.
Why did Larva GG?
Because his defiler got irradiated, and it pissed him off.
Doesn't matter.
That was, for anybody watching, a very shocking and abrupt finish.
That makes no sense. Alright, so like Larva was still fine in the game. Like he completely won the early and middle game. Sure, I mean, sure, last we were able to get 4 commands right off the bat, but that's perfectly normal in this situation. Once you get Hive out and Defiler, you just camp on 4 gas and wait until your ultras, and you just retake the map back. But this makes no sense. Why?
Look, here's the deal, XKC.